welcome to Week 3, Season 3 of the Minnesota Vikings franchise. We're coming off a tough loss to the Chicago Bears, where we came up literally a foot short. We missed an extra point that would have sent us into overtime, and we ended up losing 31-30. It was our first loss to the Chicago Bears. We have yet to lose to the Lions in this series. They're the last NFC North team to have to possibly defeat us, and unfortunately starting the game off poor here with an injury to our rookie linebacker Hawkins. But in that last game, we kind of found out a couple different things. Saunders still struggling, only had like 37% completion percentage. Dalvin Cook, however, ran well when given the opportunity to and does well here on first down. And we find out is an upper arm bruise for Hawkins. We'll go ahead and substitute him out because I don't want that to develop into anything worse. Of course, last week we did see an injury that developed into something worse with Dalton Smith, our center. He originally left the game, as we're just going to have to throw this away with Saunders. But Dalton Smith ended up leaving the game originally for a knee injury. Then when we had put him back in, he aggravated it even worse and will be out for the next 3 games. So our rookie center that we drafted, who's been playing left guard in Richard Wilds, he will now be playing center. And then over at left guard, Clayton will be getting the start at that spot. And we saw last week that adjustment worked really well. Basically a few plays after that, we saw a really good block from Wilds and Clayton that gave us a big rush from Dalvin. Helped us get back in that game a bit. Does well here as well on the 3rd and 2 as we get a chunk. We also saw Leach have a big game. Our slot receiver that we had traded for in the draft, as we just weren't really able to pick up anyone in the draft. But that's about the same accuracy that we continue to see from Saunders. So Saunders is and will remain on the hot seat here. It's his 3rd season. He's yet to have a season where he's had more than a 1-to-1 ratio of touchdowns to interceptions. They continually have been rather close. So, of course, we are looking at the potential of drafting a quarterback in this next draft. I've already gone through a brief look at the available options. Saunders didn't really lead Leach there. If he did, that might have been more, but we still get the first down and a completion to Leach down to the 37. So yeah, we're looking at potential guys to draft, but also need to take a look at what's in the free agent market as well. We're not free agent, but trade market, as we're going to find Leach again. Pass a little bit underthrown, but he's going to try to get around the corner. He gets down to the 3. A nice run after the catch there from Leach. But I have done the preliminary look at the scouting board and prospects, and there are some interesting pieces, and then some I would definitely like some more information on, as Dalvin Cook gets us into the end zone early in this game, followed right behind the blocks of Clayton and Wilds. As we see from up here, we get a nice job of bunching down that center bit of the line. DeCastro kind of pushes out a guy on the pole, and Cook just finds his way in. Does a nice job of using the little blend of speed and power. And then as for this next draft, the potential guys who we could be picking up, we will go out over that similarly to last year, where we had the scouting special at the beginning of the Week 10 episode, as Harvey Keenan comes down here and makes a good tackle on Swift. But the defense also saw a little bit of changes in where people are lining up this week. As we just talked about, there hasn't been a whole lot of good run stopping ability or tackling animations helping us out there. But the run stopping has been an issue for us so far this season, so we've made a slight adjustment. You could probably see it up front right now. I don't know why we switched those guys. Should have just let them continue on their side as they get the quick pass to their tight end. Harrison Smith gets out there to get the tackle after a gain of a few. And we do have a new starting quarterback here in Detroit. It is Reed or Reeds? Not exactly sure. See if we can see here. I think it says Reed. Yeah, we have a new quarterback in Reed as the starter here. He is in front of Goff. So we're going to trade off there as they get the dump off. Big hit there from J.J. Watt. First time we've really seen him do something, and he's one of the guys who we have moved around. So due to the lack of run stoppers that we have on this defense, I've moved J.J. Watt into the middle. He will now be playing DT this year as Michael Pierce finally gets back there. He gets a sack. We've been missing him the first couple games of this season. Hopefully this is a turning point for him and we don't have to look to make trades as we get closer to week 8. But that is something we're keeping an eye on. Because in terms of run stoppers on this team, we really only have 2. And that is Michael Pierce, and J.J. Watt is just a balanced guy. So what we've done for now is J.J. Watt has moved down to play DT alongside of Michael Pierce. So we get our 2 run stoppers in the middle as we get the stop on 3rd and long. I'm going to bring up a 4th and 6. And then obviously we have Graves, who's had a really good kind of spurt ever since the first half ended of last season. Who obviously it was his first season, so really started to come on strong, and we don't want to ruin that. So after taking a look at JJ and Graves, we decided that we're going to switch them. So Graves will be playing edge, and then Watt will be down at DT at least for the meantime. We'll take a look as we get further in the season, see if that experiment helps. If not, we'll switch them back. But we do get a gain of 6 on the scramble there from Saunders. Of course, don't want him scrambling around too much. Unfortunately, we don't have the break that I would have liked there, but would have liked some better release here from Chark. He has the speed, doesn't have the release. Then the opposite on the other side of the field, and we had a wide open Justin Jefferson going down the sidelines. And maybe the guy who got the hit, Harrison Phillips, new Minnesota Viking, not in this universe, but in real life. I think he might have got the hit on Saunders that popped that ball up, caused the interception, but looks like he's heading into the locker room. And unfortunately for Saunders, that is yet another interception that ultimately has his name on it, as there's not credits for how interceptions happen. They just go on the quarterbacks that throw them. And following that short pass on 1st down, we're already into the 2nd quarter here. Going to run some man blitz, get Daniil off the edge. He gets a hit on Reed. Harvey gets the tackle. Harvey Keenan, that is. And on 3rd and 2, they come out with a shotgun set. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. They're going to go down the middle. We have Eric Hendricks there who gets the block shed and gets the tackle on Swift. Loss of 1. Now, our linebackers are not real run stoppers. They're primarily cover guys. But Kendricks gets the job done there. And of course, that lack of a run stopper in the nickel, which is what you play most of the time in Madden nowadays. That's one of the reasons that we made that adjustment up front, so we could try to secure the middle of the line as the Lions hit a field goal here with Elliott. The offense takes the field here, coming out in a pistol form. Haven't run too much pistol in the past, but with the new OC, going to bring it in a little bit more. We get a nice rush down the middle from Dalvin Cook, and our interior linemen playing pretty well so far. And speaking of, you can see that we have 3 of 5 that have the green for run blocking, and then also 3 of 5 for pass blocking. So, say we have a good set up front for us. Going to go for Leach here. So far, Leach has been Saunders' favorite target this year, as he gets us all the way down to the 30. But of course, don't want to forget about Flannigan in a tight end spot. He had an amazing catch for us in the last game that kind of gave us the opportunity to come back in it as the linebacker gets the pass break up there. Definitely could have possibly been an interception, but at least he just goes for the breakaway, the tip away, or whatever. Yes, Flannigan went up, sacrificed himself, brought down the touchdown that eventually ended up being the missed extra point that lost us the game against the Bears. So we want to include him a bit more. He's kind of disappeared a little bit of recent. And in this new playbook, we use Flannigan in the role that we were using Osborne. So unfortunately, Osborne's role kind of has diminished a little bit as we don't have time to get that pass off. Looks like Carl Lawson possibly there to get the sack. 2nd and 22. We had a couple guys open underneath, but Saunders just not able to get the ball out. And on 2nd and 22 here, kind of various different options we could take a look at. Going to go for Flannigan. Try to see if we can get out there, but that pass overthrown from Saunders. Going to bring up a 3rd and 22. We're going to try to run the screen pass here because we don't want to force anything downfield where it gets a little bit tight. Just going to dump it off here. Try to get around some guys, use some speed, but just not able to get around in time. They came crashing down, and Diablo? That's a great name for a linebacker. I really hope that that's a linebacker. So we'll be sending Koo out, of course. Missed that extra point last week. A little frustrated with him. Hopefully that doesn't restart the Minnesota Vikings kicker just awfulness. And we at least hit home there with that one. So far in this game, 2 of 2 on both of his kicks. And the defense takes the field here. Lions come out in an empty set. So we're going to play with Keenan here. Try to cover those underneath routes. And we just kind of got screwed on that animation. I mean, you just got to take a look at this, because we end up going for a low tackle, cut the legs out from Smith-Schuster, who then defies gravity, lands back on his feet, and then gets the first down. That's just Madden for you. As much as we love playing sports games love playing us. And they do so right there as they get a nice run down the middle there, get a nice block on just about everyone. They get down to the 3rd level, and luckily Keenan Harvey makes a stop. And after that first down run there by Swift, they come out with a double tight end set, 2 receivers to the right, and they go for another run. Big hit there from Harrison Smith. Kind of launched him towards the line, and he actually ends up gaining at least a yard. And following the 2-minute warning, the Lions come out just in front of the 50-yard line, as they have plenty of time to try to make something happen here. They find Amon-Ra St. Brown, who gets down the field to about the 36 for another first down. Looks like he was holding his elbow a little bit there, but bounces right on up. And they'll come out with a tight set here. We had Smith there, but 81 Turner, he comes under in time to get that catch, gain of 3, but we get the tackle rather quickly. And they come out with a twin set to either side. We're going to run a bit of some man coverage here. So they get a nice route ran there by Swift. Kind of jukes Harrison around a little bit. But we get the tackle 3rd and inches. And the Lions will use their first timeout, as I believe we're now just inside or just over 1 minute remaining. Or right at 1 minute remaining. They come out in an empty set. We're going to check our play call here. Go into a zone. Set on the underneath here. Kendrick's there to swat that pass away. Read what they were doing. The first incompletion on the day for their new quarterback, Reed. And that will bring up 4th and inches. They'll go for a field goal here. Which 4th and inches, you think you would go for it, but that's why the Lions are the Lions. However, they get the field goal. They're bringing the game a little bit closer, 10-6. And with 52 seconds left in this first half, our offense takes the field here. We got a bunch to the right, a lone receiver to the left. And we have a penalty and an overthrown pass that's intercepted. Oh, Saunders. You're making this difficult, bud. What is this flag? It's going to be a holding, so it's just going to be a turnover. And it's going to be a holding on Brian O'Neill, and the Lions will take over. You know, normally tossing it up in a one-on-one situation when you have a guy like Flannigan who can go up and get it, you'll win quite a bit of those. Or worst case, incomplete, but Saunders has just made it so difficult as he typically just throws inaccurately there. They decided to show us our draft class. Here, we had a smaller draft class. In Madden's previous, I typically have a lot more picks, but just because I trade around and get the guys that I like, but not as many guys I've found in the Madden 22 classes. Big hit there from Henley. But still, first down for the Lions. And on first down here, with us being so close to the goal line, I want to bring a safety blitz. Try to see if Henley or someone could hit home. As they go for the run, Henley ends up getting the tackle, maybe in the backfield or at least close to the line of scrimmage. They will say it is a loss of 1 for our rookie safety getting in there to get the tackle for loss. They're going to have two receivers to the left, not including the tight end who just caught the pass. Harrison Smith gets the tackle after he broke a tackle from two of our guys, and they'll call a timeout. They come out here in a shotgun ace formation. We're going to run a bit of cover 3 in the double A gap. Try to see if we could get someone underneath. A nice juke there from Swift. Gets him close to the end zone. But with that tackle, they run out of time. We're going to avoid giving up any later points than that field goal after our turnover. So, able to maintain the lead here as we go into halftime. But we definitely want to see some improvement in the second half. As we see from the board here, passing is slightly in favor of the Alliance, but everything else in our favor. We just need to play a little bit more cleanly, especially with Saunders. Going down south here, the Bears and Jacksonville, 17-14, Bears up, just over a minute left in that first half. Jets and Colts, this game not close, 21-zip, Colts losing just bad. Carson Wentz, 3 of 4 for 20 yards and a touchdown, looking like a Saunders game for them. The Cowboys and Eagles, Cowboys up 17-7, little under a minute left in that game. Dak looking pretty good, Hurts also looking pretty good, but we need our quarterback to look pretty good as we will be kicking off the ball here to start the second half. So Saunders has a little bit more time to get ready, but I don't know. I'm almost about done with the quality of play that Saunders is giving us. I haven't taken a look at the trade market for quarterbacks yet this season, and then I haven't looked super strong at quarterbacks in the class. Of course, we don't know a lot of information as we missed the sack there from Hunter, and they're going to get a completion after what should have been a sack a long time ago. And those kind of plays shouldn't happen when you have the D-line that we have on this team. You know, you have Hunter, Michael Pierce, J.J. Watt, and Graves, as our safety misses the tackle there on Swift. But with that defensive line, you shouldn't be giving up long block, chuck it up, get a completion plays. It should be sacks after more than 3 seconds in the pocket. Or sacks much less than 3 seconds, but definitely no more. But big chunk play there for Swift. They're going to hit to the outside here as we tried to at least get all the blocks blocked up. So force him inside. He gets a gain of 7. Going to bring up a 2nd and 3 from the 22. And on 2nd and 3 here, going to bring a blitz with Reed Jr. as well as Harrison Smith. Try to see if we could get off the edge, cause some havoc here. And we do. Reed Jr. gets a sack from that cornerback spot. We tried to do that so many times with Cameron Danso the last 2 seasons, and I think he maybe hit home once, maybe twice. And the first time trying to do it with Reed Jr., he gets there, so nice seeing that at least. And on 3rd and 9, they have a bunch to the right. Smith-Schuster to his lonesome over on that left-hand side. We have Reed Jr. try to cover 2 different guys there. They end up going to the underneath, and we just don't get a good animation there, I guess. Swift runs over 2 of our guys and gets a first. And they are now inside the red zone here at the 18. Going to make a play adjustment. Well, it doesn't look like we're able to do that in time, as they get a screen pass to Swift. That Denzel Ward's covering him. Granted, Denzel Ward was covering... no, it was man coverage, so definitely should have been able to lock down Swift, you would sure hope. And again, they were about to have, again, one of those plays where there's too much time in the pocket. Michael Pierce finally ends up breaking through. Also had Graves coming around the edge as well. And that will bring up a 2nd and goal from the 19. So a long ways to go till they get into the end zone. We're going to run a bit of some man coverage here, as they almost had a completion. Bradbury ends up breaking that one up. And I would have tried to go for another corner blitz here, but given the empty set that they come out in, we'll make a slight adjustment, as they just have a wide open guy who steps out of bounds. I believe that's one of their tight ends. He had open grass in front of him, just couldn't slow down in time to make the cut that was necessary. They'll send out the field goal team here. We almost had the block off the edge. And it looks like they might have had a guy come up injured on that play. It looked like I saw Decker injured. I think that might be one of their linemen. And our offense takes the field only up 10-9. They really haven't done anything since the opening possession of this game. We get a gain of a couple on the first down run from Dalvin. We'll try to follow that up with a play-action pass, see if maybe Chark can use his speed, get over the top of the defense, or if we need to check down to Leach, who might have that separation, uses his body to kind of box out the corner there, and he does get the completion. We'll follow that up with some slant routes, as that's typically the best pass that Saunders can throw, as they do a good job trying to cover it. We just ran out of time, didn't have anyone open, and Deshaun Hand gets in there for a sack, going to bring up a 2nd and 18. We'll come out here, same formation, want to see if we could get Leach down the sideline. I am going to bring Jefferson on a slant, try to see if he could pull the safety over, because they don't, but they get a rush off the edge. We would have had Jefferson, but end up getting nothing. Going to kind of stick with that same idea here, except we have 3 receivers to the right, including Flannigan. Jefferson alone to his left. We're just going to need to try to check that down. Flannigan gets the catch, but that's about it. And the Lions will start here at the 20. You would have thought it would have been a touchback, but no, we just had an awful bounce off of the punt that landed inside the 5. They get a real luck roll. They get maybe a gain of another 4 or 5. Get a 4 on that first down pass. We'll follow that up with what could be another pass here. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Tight end also was to the left or to the right. We get the tackle there from Kendricks. That ball was kind of loose there from Swift, but he ends up holding on to it as we head into the 4th quarter here. Only up by 1 still, 10-9. That brings up a 3rd and 2 here. Going to set up the double A-gap blitz as we get down there late. And I'm pretty sure that was a tackle for a loss or close to. Only a gain of 1, they're going to say it. So we get the tackle to stop the first down there by Keenan Harvey, going to bring up a 4th and 1. And they do bring out the field goal. Not field goal. That would be an awful field goal attempt. It would be like the sim in our other series we have going with the California rebuild. Nice spin move there from Nwangwu. Gets by his blocker down to the sideline. Going to give us nice field position to start here at the 47. Hopefully that will jumpstart the offense a little bit. We'll come out here with a heavy set, 2 tight ends to the left. Try to see if we can follow behind some of our big guys. As we do, Dalvin Cook gets a gain of about 12-13 yards. Nice read from him. Only 8 carries on the day. Definitely need to feed him the ball a bit more. And I would run to that left-hand side, but I know Starks is not a good blocker, so we'll make the adjustment, go to the right, follow our blocks, get a gain of 6-ish on first down. They're going to say a gain of 5. I think 6 would be better. Maybe see if we could follow that up with a play action here. I would like to get a delayed fade there from Flannigan. Got one-on-one. Can he do it for us? 2 weeks in a row, he goes up and gets one. Hopefully this time we could get the extra point. Going to extend the lead by, with the extra point would be 8, but now it's at least 7. Saunders just tosses it up. He had the size advantage, boxes out the DB, and it was all done for Wallace. It looks like it was a one-handed snag from him too. And Saunders is very thankful. Bit of a low-scoring game here for us. 17-9, about 5 minutes remaining in this game. Can the defense get a stop here? Let our offense try to extend the lead. They wait, get a pass laid out to Swift, who gets about a gain of 8. Kendricks ends up bringing him down. And I'll follow that up with a bunch to the right, a lone receiver to the left. We're in the double A gap. Going to run some cover 3 here. We try to make sure we get everyone in. Missed a great opportunity for a big hit on Smith-Schuster. Just not able to line it up with Kendricks. And after that big gain, they're just a little bit past midfield here. Have two receivers to either side. We're going to set up a screen pass and try to get out there with Kendricks, who ends up flipping over most of the linemen. They still get a gain of 7, as it looked like Kendricks ended up taking out a couple of Vikings at the same time as the Detroit linemen. They're going to go for a screen, and that just went right to Harrison Smith. Reed made a bad read there. Should have went to the other guy who was coming from the other side. 40th career interception, though, for Harrison Smith. And this gives us the opportunity to put the game away, either through scoring another touchdown or running out the clock. We're going to try to chuck it up here to Chark. Looks like that might arrive just late, but Chark actually holds on to this one. Gets us all the way down to the 11. He rarely, if ever, will get that catch in tight coverage. It's either an interception or maybe a knockaway. But showing some improvement here at his 3rd year with the Vikings. Is it his 3rd year? Have we had him the whole time? I think, yeah, we have had him the whole time. So, yeah, seeing some improvement from him. Not a good block from O'Neal, but we're able to gain a couple after Cook kind of just does what Cooks does. Gets to the outside there. Got to make a slight adjustment to Chark's route. Also going to make an adjustment to Leach's route, as we have Leach in the back of the end zone. Going to put this game away with the touchdown rather than running the clock here. Help Saunders try to even up or extend. I'm not quite sure what his stats are on the season, although I doubt his touchdowns and interceptions are separated by much. And the Lions will take the field here in an empty set. They have 2 minutes, 21 seconds to get multiple points, and we're not able to get the pick. Denzel Ward was there. Hunter was there. Ball ended up just getting tipped around. No one able to bring it in. But at least it's a breakup. Could have been a completion. So we'll take that. Instead, they go for it. The nice pass and a nice cutback from 89. Kendricks trying to get there. He's not able to. Ward tries to, slows him down. Then we get the tackle from Reed. They're all the way down to the 2-yard line as we head into the 2-minute warning. A huge play there for the Lions. Sets them up at the goal here. They come out in an empty set. We're trying to bait Michael Pierce. I tell you what, after making that adjustment up front, switching a couple of the guys around, he's really played a heck of a game today. Don't know if that's necessarily the adjustments or if that's Detroit's line. But either way, that improvement in the middle has been a big boost to us this week, as we will look to close out this game without giving up any more points. Kendricks gets all the way out there, breaks that pass up, intended for Amon-Ra St. Brown. And 4th and goal here. Kendricks still lined up on Amon-Ra. A pass breakup here, tackle before the goal line, and this game is pretty much done. Keenan, however, he's going to get his first pick as a Minnesota Viking. Tries to break a couple tackles, ends up being brought down at the 10. Nice seeing one of our young guys get a pick, as really haven't seen much in terms of interceptions this year. And all we need to do now is just drain out this clock, so I have chew clock on. No need to try to force any other points here. Just let the clock drain out as Detroit is calling their timeouts. And on 2nd and 8, we're going to bring Dyson out here, our rookie receiver. I'm going to send him around on this jet sweep. He has a lot of speed. Not really able to show it much there as Detroit calls their 2nd timeout. And on 3rd and 5, we'll come out here with the slants. I would like to see if we could get a pass here to Dyson. As he gets open late, we do find him. He gets the catch down the sidelines, fights forward for a bit, and this game is all but done. All we need to do is kneel out the remainder of this clock. And we come out here in victory formation. Rather than last week where the Bears came out in the formation against us, we get the victory this time, 24-9, against one of our NFC North rivals with the Lions, the last team who has yet to beat us. A nice victory today. Spread the ball out around a little bit. Got Flannigan more involved. Like seeing the change of pace today rather than the last game against the Bears. And we will head into the locker room to celebrate a victory. And it was a hard-fought one. When you look at the stats, honestly pretty similar. We just got lucky a bit of the time. We're able to get the turnovers when needed, force the stops when needed. We end up coming away with a big victory, 24-9. Give us a little bit of momentum, a little bit of boost of confidence, along with revenge to take into next week against the Bears. And following that victory, a couple upgrades here. Dalvin Cook with a boost, and we're going to choose power back. We'd like to see him run through a few more guys here. And with that upgrade, we get +2 to stiff arm and +1 to carrying and trucking. If you're curious about his ratings, this is where they're sitting at, looking pretty solid for us. We also have an upgrade point here for John Leach, who's really come on strong here for us after the Bills really didn't use him much, and he was essential in the Bears game, as he was really the only one who helped us get many points here. And I would like to continue to boost the route runner. Surprisingly, it's his lowest rating, probably just because the deep route running is not very good. We will get +2 to both medium and short, so they will continue to be his better skill sets, but good size, 6'4", 218. Good speed as well. He's definitely helped us lessen the pain of Adam Thielen retiring, so nice to have him here. And need to take a look a little bit at the receiving core right now. So with the play that Saunders has really had of recent, you have to consider moving on from him. He just hasn't played very well. And I think the position that we have the most depth at on this team is receiver. Obviously, Justin Jefferson is a young superstar. Chark has played pretty well for us. He's 27, so kind of in between the young and old. Then John Leach, a young guy, only 23 years old, has played very well for us. And then you have Osborne, who in the past has played really well for us. However, he's 27 and he's 76 overall, so he's not going to get much better. And we have some younger guys who should see the field. Sherrard Dyson, who is a rookie that I believe we drafted, has some fantastic speed. We've tried to get him out there in certain packages, and he's a deep threat guy, so not necessarily someone who we want to play all too much in the slot, but we want him to get out there and get some experience his rookie year. We also have Willie Johnson, who's 22 years old, also a rookie. I maybe drafted him, maybe signed him after as an undrafted free agent. I can't remember completely, but again, he has speed. He's more of a slot guy who would come in after Leach, and then Dyson would come in for either Jefferson or Chark. And then we signed Tyrone Leary as an undrafted rookie, and again, he has a skill set too that we could build. He has a similar-ish ratings to where we started with Osborne. So Osborne right now seems to be expendable, especially with our new offensive coordinator, we don't really use much for tight ends. We're using Flannigan more as that fourth receiver as much as he deserves. He's a very good tight end and deserves to get some action out there. So Osborne is an expendable guy if we need to make a move. Also important to note that Mund is in his contract year, and he's looking for about 4 years, $4 million a season. So do we want to pay him that? He's played okay when we've brought him out there. Primarily, we want to use him as a runner, but obviously you need a quarterback that can pass, and that's the issues that we've had with Saunders, is that he hasn't passed very well. We take a look at his career stats here. Touchdowns to interceptions have never been separated by much. Right now, they are tied for as much of a separation as ever. His first year was just a difference of 4. Right now, just a difference of 4. His passer rating is highest than it has been, but he's still not doing that great. So far, lowest completion percentage, and he's just someone who we've struggled to trust, honestly. I mean, how many times have we said throughout this series that we need to take the ball out of his hands, give it to Cook? You don't want that with your quarterback and with Cook he's 29, so after this season, he will be 30. Going to probably start regressing. Maybe has a couple more years after that, and then he might retire. So you want to find a solution at quarterback, because how often can you draft a guy like Cook to build around? Hopefully, who has less injuries than Cook, but still, that's something we need to consider. Now, on the trade block, there's not really any good young quarterbacks. You're going to have Jameis Winston, 30, Jared Goff, 29, Marcus Mariota, 30, Davis Mills, who's our quarterback in our other series we have going on. He's 25, but he's only a 70 overall. And then everyone past that, they're going to be younger or a little bit older, but they're not that highly rated. So there's not a whole lot to look at in terms of what's on the trade block. Now, some teams might have some guys that they're stashing on their roster. I know that's something that Madden does quite often, where they just have teams draft quarterback after quarterback. So an example of that, you could say, is the Bears. They have Justin Fields, who's an 87 at 25 years old. The next year they drafted Nathan Madden, basically, who hasn't been able to progress at all as a player because he's sitting behind Justin Fields, but he has pretty decent potential that could have been used to start. It's his second season, and obviously I don't want to trade for him, but these are things that happen with Madden, that there's just teams that have a bunch of different quarterbacks that they don't need. Not all of them do it, but quite often you do. So you have Mayfield, who's an 83, obviously in real life. Seems like the Browns don't want him. But they also have Nick Robinson, who's a 23 overall, or 23-year-old. He's a superstar dev guy, 74 overall. He should be playing. 89 short accuracy is fantastic starting point, 90 throw power, has 86 speed, 91 acceleration. I mean, this guy is someone who we could consider possibly drafting or trading for, but they're not on the trade block. So I just want you guys to let me know what you think we should do down in the comment section below. Because when it comes to drafting a quarterback, there's only one that's expected to go in the first round, and he's a top 5 guy. And that's going to be Mike Sherman. And Sherman is young, 22 years old, 6'2", 230 out of Penn State. And he has good speed. He has strength, but he doesn't have much of an arm. This says decent to solid. And then skill set wise, he has an A throw accuracy short, so that should be really good. But he's the only good quarterback, and I really hope we're not picking in top 5, because that means that our season has really gone downhill. So with knowing all that information, what do you guys think we should do at the quarterback spot? Should we stay with Saunders, go through his rookie deal, and then maybe move him next year? Should we maybe make a move this year? There's a lot of options that we have in front of us right now, where we have some really good young players that are going to need contract extensions soon. Do we try to continue to stay on a cheaper deal with quarterbacks to allow that? There's a lot of different scenarios that we could go through, but I want to know what you guys are thinking down in that comment section. So let me know down there. And in the next game, we have revenge, hopefully, against the Bears, where, again, the only team that we have not lost to is the Lions. So we need some revenge against the Bears there. I don't like losing against the Bears. I honestly dislike playing against them more than the Packers, but that's what the next episode will be. Vikings, Bears, take 2 of this season, and hopefully we get a better ending. So until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you later. Bye.